Hi friends, welcome back on Rare Bucks. What if I told you that sitting in somebody's old coin jar, forgotten in a dusty drawer, maybe even in a pocket change collection that hasn't been touched in decades, there are pennies. Just pennies that are worth anywhere from thousands to tens of thousands of dollars right now. We are talking about coins from the 1800s and early 1900s that most Americans have never even heard of. And today, I am going to walk you through 7 of the most insane, most valuable, most absolutely jaw-dropping Indian head cents ever struck at the United States Mint. By the end of this video, you are going to be running to check every single old penny you have ever laid eyes on. Let's get into it. Coin number 7, 1909 S Indian head cent. Alright, we are starting this countdown with the absolute crown jewel, the coin that every single serious collector dreams about at night. The 1909 S Indian head cent. Now, before I even get into what this coin is worth, you need to understand what you are actually looking at when you hold one of these. The Indian head cent series ran from 1859 all the way to 1909, and 1909 was the very last year the design was ever produced. They were replacing it with the Lincoln cent, the penny we still use today. So 1909 was already the swan song, the farewell tour of one of the most iconic American coin designs in history. But the 1909 S? That is something else entirely. The S mint mark on this coin tells you it was struck in San Francisco, not Philadelphia. And here is where the story gets absolutely wild. The Philadelphia Mint cranked out Indian head cents by the millions in 1909, but San Francisco only produced a grand total of 309,000 of them. 309,000. In a country of nearly 90 million people at the time. That is such a tiny number that even back in 1909, collectors were already scrambling to get their hands on them. People knew immediately that this coin was going to be special. Fast forward to today, and the survival rate of high-grade examples is brutally low. Now, where is that S mint mark? You have to flip the coin to the reverse side to find it. Look at the reverse, you see the wreath, the shield, and right underneath the 1 cent denomination, just barely tucked below it, there is a small S punched right into the coin. That is your San Francisco mint mark. That is your key to knowing you are holding something genuinely extraordinary. And in terms of value, let me just say this slowly so it really sinks in. A circulated example in a grade around fine or very fine is easily fetching $6,000 to $9,000 at major auction houses right now. We are talking about a 1 cent coin selling for $9,000. If you can find one in extremely fine condition, you are looking at $12,000 to $15,000. And high-grade mint state examples? MS-63 and above? Those are clearing $20,000 to $30,000 at heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, all the major houses. There have been MS-65 red examples that have crossed $50,000 in recent years. This is not an exaggeration. This is not hype. This is actual documented auction history. The 1909 S Indian head cent is one of the most sought-after, most valuable small cents in all of American numismatics, and if you ever find one, and I mean ever, you stop everything, and you get it authenticated. Every old coin is an opportunity for discovery. And here at Rarebucks, we bring you the freshest treasures every single day. Coins that could be hiding right inside your home, just waiting for the right eye to uncover them. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, join our community of American coin hunters, and never miss the next hidden gem, because the next coin we reveal might just change everything for you. Stay tuned, because coin number 6 is the one that shocked even professional graders. And believe me, it is beyond extraordinary. Coin number 6. Now, coin hunters, did you know that sometimes the greatest treasures are not the ones that shine, but the ones hiding in plain sight? Because the next coin on our list does not just challenge expectations, it rewrites them completely. Coming in at number 6, we have the 1908 Indian head cent. And this coin does not get nearly enough respect. People talk about the 1909 all day long, and rightfully so. But the 1908 is quietly one of the most underrated keys in the entire series, and honestly, one of the best investments a collector could make right now. Because the market has not fully caught up with how rare this coin truly is. Let me paint you the full picture. 1908 was only the second year the San Francisco Mint ever produced Indian head cents. The Philadelphia Mint had been making them since 1859, but San Francisco only got in on the action in 1908 and 1909. So for the 1908 the total mintage came in at just 1,115,000 coins. Now that sounds like more than the 1909 and technically it is, but here is what you have to understand. These were working coins. They went into circulation. They got worn down. They got lost. They got melted. The survival rate in any kind of collectible condition is shockingly low. Finding a nice original example of the 1908 today is genuinely difficult, and the collector demand for it has been climbing steadily for years. The reverse mint mark placement is identical to the 1909 You are looking right below the 1-cent lettering, right at the bottom of the reverse design, and you will see that S punched right there into the coin's surface. It is small, it is easy to miss, and that is exactly why so many of these coins have been overlooked and undervalued over the decades. But serious numismatists know exactly what they are looking for, and when they find a sharp, original 1908 they do not hesitate. For values, a well-circulated example in very good-to-fine grades is bringing $3,000 to $5,000 right now. Move up into very fine and extremely fine territory, and you are in the $5,000 to $9,000 range comfortably. High-grade mint state examples are absolutely exploding. MS63 red-brown examples have been bringing $15,000 to $20,000. And top-tier MS65 red examples have hammered for over $40,000 at auction. There are also known repunch date varieties and die varieties on 1908 coins that have attracted additional collector premiums. This coin is the one that serious collectors are quietly accumulating before the rest of the market wakes up, and if you are smart about it, you will pay attention to this date very carefully. Next up, coin number 5, 1901 Indian head cent. Alright, number 5, the 1901 Indian head cent. And this is where we start getting into what I like to call the beautiful sleepers of this series. Now at first glance, 1901 might seem like a relatively accessible date. The Philadelphia Mint produced just over 79 million of them that year. And yes, that is a reasonably large mintage by Indian head cent standards. But here is what makes the 1901 so compelling for collectors and so potentially valuable. It is all about condition. It is about originality. And it is about the specific die varieties that exist for this date that most people walking into a coin shop have absolutely no clue about. The design on the 1901 Indian head cent is absolutely stunning in high grade. James Barton Longacre's design, featuring Lady Liberty wearing a Native American headdress, just pops in mint state. The feathers are crisp, the details on the ribbon and the lettering are razor sharp, and the luster on an original uncirculated example is something genuinely beautiful to see in person. The portrait has this incredible authority to it. There is a reason why collectors fell in love with this design and why it ran for 50 years. Now for values, a heavily circulated 1901 in good or very good condition might only bring $30 to $60. And that is fine. It is still a beautiful antique coin. But once you start climbing the grade ladder, the numbers get serious very quickly. A solid mint state 63 is bringing $300 to $600. An MS65 is in the $1,500 to $3,000 range. And when you get into MS66 and MS67 territory, Those coins are $5,000 to $15,000 and higher. A registry quality 1901 in MS67 red has commanded over $20,000. And the NGC and PCG's population reports show almost nothing survives at that level. But here is where it gets even more interesting. There are known repunched date varieties on the 1901 that carry strong premiums among variety collectors. And proof examples? Proof Indian head cents from 1901 are bringing $8,000 to $15,000 or more, depending on the grade and cameo designation. This coin rewards the patient, educated collector enormously. Next up, coin number 4, 1878 Indian head cent. Number 4, the 1878 Indian head cent, and this one is special for reasons that go way beyond just the date. 1878 is a key date in the Indian head cent series, full stop. The Philadelphia Mint struck only 5,797,500 of them that year, which made it one of the lower mintage business strike issues of the era. But what really sends collectors into a frenzy over the 1878 is the combination of its scarcity in high grades, its historical context, and the proof production of this year, which was absolutely remarkable. Let me put you in 1878 for a second. Reconstruction has just ended. Rutherford Hayes is in the White House. The country is rebuilding, expanding westward, and the economy is churning. These cents were made to be spent, to be used, to be passed from hand to hand in a country that was growing at an incredible pace. Most of them got worn to nothing. Most of them got lost. The ones that survived in original uncirculated condition are genuinely scarce, and the collector community has recognized this for a long time. In terms of varieties, the 1878 has some fascinating die varieties, including repunched dates, that collectors actively hunt. The proof mintage for 1878 was just 2,350 coins, a tiny, tiny number, and proof examples of this coin are absolute treasures.
A proof 1878 in PR63 is bringing $5,000 to $8,000. A PR65 cameo? You are easily in the $12,000 to $20,000 range. In terms of business strikes, a circulated extremely fine example is bringing $400 to $800. Mint state examples are where it gets serious. MS63 runs $1,500 to $3,000, MS65 can be $5,000 to $12,000, and top pop registry coins in MS66 red have crossed $30,000 at major auction events.
This is a coin that rewards serious research and grade hunting, and it is one of the most underappreciated keys in the mid-series. Next up, coin number 3, 1861 Indian head cent. We are at number 3 now, and the coin is the 1861 Indian head cent, and I need you to sit with this one for a moment because the historical weight of this coin is absolutely staggering. 1861. That is the year the Civil War began. Fort Sumter was fired upon in April of 1861. The nation was literally tearing itself apart. And in the middle of all that chaos, the United States Mint in Philadelphia was still striking coins, including this cent. Because commerce does not stop even when a nation goes to war. Holding an 1861 Indian head cent in your hand is holding a piece of one of the most pivotal, most heartbreaking, most consequential years in American history. The mintage for 1861 was 10,100,000 coins, which sounds like a decent number, but the Civil War destroyed so many coins. Metal was needed for the war effort, hoarding was rampant, and small cents were disappearing from circulation almost as fast as they were made. People were stuffing coins into jars and floorboards because nobody knew what was coming next. The survival rate of high-grade 1861 Indian head cents is quite low as a result, and when genuine original mint state examples do surface, they create significant bidding wars. This was also the first year of the copper-nickel composition that had been introduced in 1859 being used in a war year context, and many surviving examples show the characteristic original surfaces of well-struck Philadelphia coins from this era. For values, a circulated very fine or extremely fine 1861 is in the $200 to $500 range. Mint state examples start climbing fast. MS-63 is $1,200 to $2,500, MS-65 runs $4,000 to $8,000, and high-grade MS-66 examples have cleared $15,000 to $25,000 at auction. Proof examples of the 1861 with a proof mintage of just 1,000 coins are bringing $10,000 to $20,000 in the upper grades. And any die variety on this coin, repunched dates, misplaced digits, rotated reverses, carries significant collector premiums on top of that. The 1861 is a coin of history, of survival, and of serious numismatic importance. Next up, coin number 2, 1860 Indian head cent. We are at number 2. And this coin might genuinely surprise you, the 1860 Indian head cent. Here is why the 1860 is sitting in the number 2 spot on this list and why it deserves far more attention than it typically gets. 1860 is a transitional year in the Indian head cent series, and transitional coins are almost always where the most interesting numismatic stories live. The design itself was modified in 1860. The rounded bust variety replaced the pointed bust design that had appeared on the 1859 cents. That means 1860 is the first year of the new rounded bust style, which collectors specifically seek out and pay a premium for. The total mintage was 20,566,000 coins, but within that mintage there are distinct varieties. The rounded bust design is the standard 1860 type, but there are also transitional specimens and die varieties that have created a collector submarket around this date that drives prices well above what you might expect for a higher mintage coin. The design itself in high grade is breathtaking. The rounded bust gives Lady Liberty's portrait a softer, more refined look, and the feathers in the headdress have incredible detail when the coin was well struck and properly preserved. Now let me talk about what 1860 means in terms of American history too, because this adds to the story. 1860 is the year Abraham Lincoln was elected president. The country was on the absolute knife's edge of the Civil War, and these coins were circulating in a nation that was about to change forever. Collectors who understand history are always willing to pay more for coins with this kind of narrative weight. For values, circulated examples in fine to very fine are bringing $150 to $350. Extremely fine examples with good detail are in the $400 to $800 range. Mint State 63 examples run $1,500 to $3,000. MS-65 red examples are $4,000 to $10,000, and top registry coins in MS-66 red have cleared $20,000 to $35,000. Proof 1860 cents are among the most beautiful in the series. The rounded bust in proof is just stunning, and PR65 cameo examples have brought $15,000 to $30,000 in recent major sales. The 1860 is the designer's refinement made real, the transitional coin that collectors never stop chasing. Last one, the most valuable coin in American history. Coin number 1, 1859 Indian head cent. And here we are, number 1. The 1859 Indian head cent. The first one. The Genesis. The original. This is where it all began, and I want you to understand exactly what that means for a coin collector, for a historian, and for any American who cares about the story of this country's money. 1859 was the very first year the Indian head cent was struck. James Barton Longacre, the chief engraver of the United States Mint, had created something entirely new, a 1-cent coin that would go on to represent America for 50 years. And the 1859 issue is unique because it features a design that was never used again, the laurel wreath reverse. That is the key thing about the 1859 that sets it completely apart from every other Indian head cent ever made. Every coin from 1860 onward has the oak wreath and shield reverse design. But the 1859? The 1859 has the laurel wreath reverse, a simpler, more elegant, almost Roman-looking wreath. And that design was used for exactly 1 year and then replaced. That makes every single 1859 Indian head cent a one-of-a-kind type coin. You cannot complete a proper type set without it. You cannot truly say you collect Indian head cents without owning a 1859. It is the cornerstone, the foundation, the coin that started everything. The mintage was 36,400,000. Decent for the era, but again, these were working coins. They circulated heavily in the years leading up to the Civil War. They got worn, they got lost, and the survival of gem-quality examples is genuinely limited. The proof mintage for 1859 was just 800 coins. 800 proof coins of the very first Indian head cent ever struck. When one of those surfaces today, collectors absolutely lose their minds. For values, a well-circulated good or very good example is still worth $75 to $150 just for the history alone. Fine and very fine pieces are $200 to $500. Extremely fine runs $500 to $1,200. Mint State 63 is in the $2,000 to $4,000 range. MS 65 red, $4,000 to $12,000 and climbing. High-end MS 66 and MS 67 examples, those have sold for $30,000 to $60,000 at major auction houses. And proof examples, a PR 63 is bringing $10,000 to $18,000. PR 65 cameo examples of the 1859 have hammered for $30,000 to $50,000, and a proof 1859 in the absolute top grades with full cameo contrast is one of the most coveted coins in all of 19th century American numismatics. There are also pattern coins and transitional specimens from 1859 that have crossed 6 figures at specialized auctions. The 1859 Indian head cent is not just a coin. It is the beginning of an era, a piece of living American history, and one of the most fundamentally important coins this country ever produced. Final thoughts. So there you have it, 7 Indian head cents that prove beyond any shadow of a doubt that the most valuable things are sometimes hiding in plain sight, in old collections, in estate sales, in grandma's coin jar. We went from the first Indian head cent ever struck, the 1859 with that legendary laurel wreath reverse, all the way through to the final San Francisco Mint product, the 1909S, and every single coin in between had a story that was bigger than just a number, bigger than just a date. These are pieces of American history pressed into copper, and the market for them has never been stronger than it is right now. If you found this video valuable, if you learned something you did not know before today, do me one favor, hit that subscribe button right now. More videos just like this one are coming every single week, and you do not want to miss what I have coming up next. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 7 coins you would most want to find. I read every single comment. I'll see you in the next one.